have you with us from the city of trees, Boise, Idaho. We're here at Albertson Stadium, home of the Smurf Turf, for another edition of the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Kickoff team out there ready to tee it up and get this bowl game underway. Looking for an alley from inside his own 10. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. So Missouri State's offense will have the football first. And they're going to be met by one of the best defenses in the nation, David. And I know seeing a defense doing what they want, when they want to do it, makes you a happy man.
Well, defense is starting to make a comeback. I'm excited about this new era of football. We're seeing better tackling, and we're seeing better coverage than we were a couple years ago. And this defense is fun to watch them on tape, fun to talk to their coaches. Jesse, this defense has been consistent all year long.
And they're dialed in, and they're so talented. They've got multiple NFL draft picks on that side of the football, and they don't have to change a lot week to week. This defense dominates.
And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line.
And this offense comes out first down, tries to run the football, no answer. Second down, they go for the pass, they give up the sack. This defense on point early in the football game with two great plays.
They'll send the back in motion. On 3rd and long, doesn't need to take the check down. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense, it brings up a 4th down. They kick it away on 4th down. Fields to punt and try to pick up some yards. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. So Connecticut's offense headed onto the field. Our first look at them today. Let's take a quick second to call out some of the impact players their coaches mentioned in meetings this week. Anything you guys heard that really resonated with you?
Yeah, I love when coaches talk about guys that bring it every single day. Like, that we can depend on them. They can get other guys lined up. They're always motivated. They're always being a great teammate. These are the guys that coaches love.
And big-time players make big plays in big games, right? These are the guys that have to play well if they're going to win games like this. We're just going to see what they do today.
3rd down play from the gun. Makes the grab. Now well within striking distance as that 3rd down play gets him a first at the 29. Gonna run it. It's Roach. They'll make the stop, and he gets 4 on the play. Balls at the 25. A little wrinkle here as they go to the Wildcat and use the extra blocker. On the direct snap, it's Roach. Breaks into the open. He rumbles all the way down to the 2-yard line. He gave a little bit of everything on that one.
I think it's really important for this offense. They get this guy going early in the game, and they're doing a nice job of that right now. Remember, he's the kind of running back who gets better.
Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Huskies.
What a luxury for an offense to have. The ability to set the tone on the ground, giving that guy the football time after time, making offense easy, being physical, and really setting the tone for this football game.
And he did get that extra point through, no problem with the frozen tundra beneath him. From inside his own 10, let's see what he gets. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. So here comes the Missouri State offense. Finding themselves down 7-0, they'd love to get a drive going here. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37. Quarterback running on the draw. Got the first down, looking for more.
QBs that can run completely change your game. I mean, every single bit of it. You have to understand, now as a pass rusher, I got to keep him in the pocket. I got to understand all the zone read concepts and the power read and the jet read, all the different things they can do to you. So having a guy back there at the helm that can run the football, you better be alert of it from the first play to the end of the 4th quarter.
And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Off play action. Fires to the middle. And he left that one short, tried to baby it in there. He's got to turn it loose. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Lets it fly. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers. And the Bears will punt this one away. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. You'd think they would have had a good chance to down that one deep, but the bounce carries it into the end zone for the touchback. The give to the tailback. Not much there. Picks up a couple to the 22. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Back to pass. Throws to the wideout. They needed a big play, and they got it. And the foot down for the 1st down. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. Here comes the offense on 1st and 10 from the 47. From the gun, to give, looking for room. A solid pickup there before the defense is able to make the stop. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Rides the back and leaves it. How about this sophomore stopping him short of the 1st down line? And the Huskies come to the ball trying to pick up this 3rd and short. He'll pull it on the read. And they did not let him reach the line to gain. It'll bring up a decision here. UConn will have to punt it away. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Punt goes out of bounds, and a really nice job as they stick them deep in their own end. They'll mark it around the 10. Gets the back moving. Looking to throw on 1st down. It's incomplete and maybe a little too aggressive from this senior trying to fit that one in there. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. Got it in the middle. It's good. That'll be enough for a fresh set of downs. He gets it to the 32. Quarterback by himself in the backfield. Tries to do it himself on the draw. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. The Bears have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Looking to fire. Quarterback feeling the pressure, and down he goes in the 22.
Man, it didn't take long for the defense to get home on that play. You see them playing man coverage in the back end, slowing down the routes from the receivers and the rest of the offense. That forced the quarterback to have to hold on to it for just a split second longer, and they were able to get the sack.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Cut there. They stop him short, and we'll have a big 4th down coming. And the Bears will send out the punt unit. He's going to try to flip the field with this one. Just needs a crack to get a return. And the punt team able to sling him to the ground. They'll try to put a drive together starting from the 36. Wants to throw on 1st down. Fired just a little too long as the junior frustrated he missed that connection. Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. Off the play fake. Unloads to the wideout. Oh, what a play, it's intercepted. He'll be stopped, but not before getting the football and picking up big yardage on the return. What a play there.
And I tell you what, when defenses play zone, all eyes are on the quarterback. When you have a zone to drop to, but you're setting on the quarterback, reading his eyes. Great job by the defense, understanding the ball was coming out, breaks on the football, goes and makes the INT.
So here comes the Bear offense. They've gotten very little done on their first 3 possessions, hoping this one will be more productive. Looking to throw on first down. Pressure coming. Hauls it in. Didn't pick up a lot there. Moved it forward just a few. That's the end of the period, and UConn has the lead. And we've reached the end of one. Before we move on, let's take a look at our stats so far. They are lined up and ready to go and get things started here in the second. Wants to go up top. Working the middle, it's complete. They're able to get him stopped just shy of the first down marker. The Bears really need to keep this drive alive on third down. They'll try to power their way ahead. Just nowhere to go against this defense to find that single yard he needed on third down. Has to get there to move the sticks. He gets it all the way down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal from the 8. This offensive scoring position with a fresh set of downs. They'll keep it on the ground for first and goal. He's brought down at the 6, but the defense feeling the heat to make a stop here. They keep pushing forward, now back to work on second and goal from the 6. He'll run it up the middle, trying to pick his way to the end zone. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. Looking to the end zone on third and goal. Under fire. Touchdown, Bears! Quick strike through the air for the score.
And I love finding the big fella down in the red zone, third and goal. You got to make something happen down here. Throw it up high. Let the big fella make you look really good as a quarterback. Love finding those big guys down here in the red zone.
Looking for the tie with the extra point. And he knocks the extra point through the uprights. So that drive covered 29 yards. So after getting into the end zone on that last drive, they're set to kick it away. He'll bring it out from inside his own 10. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. The UConn offense goes back to work. Wants to go up top on first down. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short game there. So they come to the line, and the Wildcat going to give them a different look. Motion from the back. On the snap, it's Roach. They bring him down, but that's why you give them that Wildcat look to create an opportunity for big plays. Gives it on the option. Fights off the defender. They finally wrestle down the senior, but not before he picks up some valuable ground. UConn comes to the line after getting another first down. Quick handoff. Some hard running there, but just too many defenders as he stopped for a loss. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Huskies trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. They'll go to work in the air on second down. It's complete to the right. What a play there, and he rips off a big one all the way to the 16-yard line. And the Huskies want to move quickly. He'll keep it himself. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. Not many hiccups on this drive, but it's second and 13 now. Back to pass. Makes the catch. They go up top to get it down to the 5-yard line as they try to pay off this drive. We thought we'd see a little Wildcat formation in this spot, and here it is. On the direct snap, it's Roach. He'll take it himself, and he gets it back to the 4-yard line. No farther than that, no gain on the play. They've pushed it ahead to the 4. They'll try to cash in on second and goal. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, UConn.
Another rushing touchdown. That's now 2 on the game. This offense thought they could come into this one running the ball, being the more physical team, and they look like it right now.
Lining up for the PAT. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. So it's a 77-yard touchdown drive, and they finish it off with the score from the 4. He'll start the return inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So here comes the Missouri State offense. They'll start this drive going to the air. They find themselves trailing by a touchdown and a chance on this drive to even the score. This senior showed some serious arm strength firing that one in for the first down. He'll do it himself. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Looking to fire. Got his man. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go. Amazing how many times an offensive holding penalty will stall a drive. We'll see if the offense can overcome it. They're working that left side. That's some old school, hard-nosed, tough running as he powers his way to the 30. On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. That one never had a chance. Incomplete. And the Bears will punt it away on 4th down. He'll try to really get into this one. Kicks it high, and it's just hanging there as if it has helium in it and floating down toward the earth. They make the stop, and that is exactly what you want out of your punt cover unit. Use the play fake, now to throw. Nowhere to go with the ball, and down he goes at the 39.
Oftentimes with play action, you're asking the quarterback to hold on to the ball a bit longer, and you're asking this offensive line to hold up and pass pro a bit longer. Against this athletic front 7 on defense, it's going to be tough.
The Huskies with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Out of the gun to give to the back.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying that run altogether.
Fires deep on the run. Makes the grab inside the 30. And this defense's head is spinning. He gets it down to the 27. They dialed up the perfect call. Splendid execution. Now they've got it. Threatening 1st and 10 from the 27. Nice move to keep running. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be 2nd and just a few breaths away from the 1st down. Lining up in the Wildcat. Let's see what they've got. Direct snap. It's Roach. Keeps it. It's a fumble. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere. It's a turnover.
And that's a big-time play by this defense. You know when it's snowing, not only is it wet, it's freezing. Your hands are cold. You can barely feel the football. So if you can get to that football, put your head on it, or rip that thing out, a lot of times you can force some of those turnovers. Great job by the defense.
They'll get a chance to work on that hurry-up offense here in the final minute of the 1st half. Looking downfield on 1st down. He'll try to do it himself. Got to protect the merchandise. Gets down without taking a hit. There's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the 1st half. Going to sling it on 2nd down. Turns it loose. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. They've already punted 4 times in this game, and they're about to run the guy out there for a 5th time if they don't pick up the first down. He lofts it high and deep down the left side. And the throw downfield winds up incomplete, and there's a good reason for that. This guy was being mugged by the defender.
And the defender just way too handsy on that last play. You could see all the contact as the ball was in the air. He simply can't do it, and the referee's caught it.
They go to the ground. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. This will likely be the last play of the half. Looking downfield very late in the half. Got his man quickly. They make the stop, and that is the end of the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Reese, great energy in that building and a fun first half in this Idaho Potato Bowl. And how can we begin our analysis of that first half without singing the praises of one of the elite backs in football? Racking up huge numbers on the ground, even throwing the occasional block. This kid is the total package. And if this defense doesn't adjust its strategy, he could be headed towards a career day. With that said, let's send it back to Reese and the guys for the second half of the Liberty Bowl.
Here's the return from inside his 10. Able to find enough room to get it out across the 25. He's brought down at the 26. UConn going back to work on offense. And they got it done in the first half, but the job now, follow up, close the deal, and bring home a bowl victory.
Finish. You hear teams say it all the time. That applies to them right now, David, here in the second half. It's a lot of really good things, and that first half needs some more big plays here to get this W.
And you've seen it with bowl games. Big swings, man. When the rust comes off after that first half and people get in a rhythm, you've seen big comebacks. So I know they're winning, but keep the foot on the gas. This first possession is crucial.
And this one will be stopped for no gain. Lost one on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. Wants to go up top. Just not quite able to make the connection. It's incomplete. Got quite a ways to go to keep this drive going. It's 3rd down from the 45. From the gun, wants to pass. Under fire. He'll just throw it away, and it'll be 4th down. UConn will have to punt it away. Great contact on that ball as it just hangs up in the sky. Not going to risk a return here. Calls for the fair catch and makes it just around the 30-yard line. They'll start this drive with a pass. Blasted as he lets it go. Can't make the connection, and the defense putting on the heat and forcing the incompletion. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. Punch it out of the air. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker. On 3rd down, he drops the throw. The sweet feet keeping the play alive. They make the tackle at the 36. Let's see if they bring out the punt team. The Bears line up to punt it away. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. He'll settle for some pretty good field position and make the fair catch at around the 35. The UConn offense goes back to work. Here's another opportunity, Jesse, to stretch out this lead after punting last time.
I think it goes back to your playmakers, Reese. I think it's finding the guys that have been working for you earlier on in this game and getting them the football.
And there's obviously no need to panic. I mean, think about it. You got the lead. You got the football. You got to be smart with the football. Make your plays. Put a good drive together.
He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. To the ground, he's got it again. Got enough for the first. Oh, he's got some space. Ripping through the defense and getting it all the way down to the 24-yard line.
Well, the defense just had to chase that guy down, make a tackle after a long run, and no chance to substitute. They got to get the play call in because the offense is trying to go fast.
Working that left side now.
And you throw a little hitch route. Nice job getting the ball out of his hands quickly. Wide receiver, quarterback. Nice job being on the same page. Nice completion, nice catch.
And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. And the Huskies come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep the drive moving. They'll try to pick it up on the ground. Doesn't quite make it to the first down marker. He's a yard short. Timeout called here by the defense. It's the first one they've used this half. Now on 4th down, they'll settle for a field goal try. He splits the uprights, and they'll push that lead out a little further.
And you want a touchdown, and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
After putting up the field goal, they're set to kick it away. From inside the 10, here he comes. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. To the air on 1st down. Fires to the big fella. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. Now here on 2nd down, see if they keep tossing it around. They're going back to the ground. Into a mass of giant bodies. We'll call it a 1-yard gain to the 24. If every journey begins with a step, this offense needs to step into a 3rd down conversion and then try to turn it into some scores, and fast. And the Bears will line up to punt it away. And these guys have been busy. 6th punt of the day. With the question as to whether he can feel his fingers at this point, fair catch is wise in the middle of this snowy, cold weather. Power football with the run.
It's going to be important this offensive line is able to get a little bit of push. Just got to give this guy an inch, a little crease, and he can make yards for it.
On the direct snap, it's Roach. This time they stop him behind the line of scrimmage, and boy, that has been rare in this one. Even if they don't convert, picking up a few would give them a decision to make on 4th down. It's 3rd and long from the 45. Finds his man. Now they're starting to feel it. They've got a 1st down at the 44. The Huskies come to the line with a new set of downs. They'll run it out of the shotgun. Shakes off the defender. And they're able to force him out of bounds after a short pickup. Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Back to pass. Fires to the big fella. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the 1st. Bully ball on 3rd and short. Knocked down in the backfield, and that'll bring up 4th down. UConn will have to punt it away. No opportunity to run it back as the ball goes out of bounds. This drive opens up at the 23-yard line. Looking to throw on 1st down. Fires to the wideout. It's caught downfield. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36. That's the end of the period, and UConn has the lead. And sitting in a good spot as we wrap up the 3rd. Let's take a look at our game stats while we have a break in the action. Here comes the 4th. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. They go back to work in the final period of this one. Wants to throw on 1st down off the play fake. Now improvising.
Well, they've tried to get this quarterback going, running the ball in a variety of ways. They haven't really been able to kind of break him out just yet until that run right there. Nice individual effort on the scramble. It took a little longer than they would have liked, but maybe that's the play that's really going to sort of spark this offense and really maybe get this guy going more on the ground.
Quick touch pass to the receiver. Got a little space. All down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down. They moved the chains on the ground last time. Let's see if they try to hit him up top. The give to the left side. There he goes. Trying to impose their will on the ground as he stopped after a 5-yard pickup to the 33. Second down, they'll go to the air. Makes the catch. Makes the tackle right at the 28-yard line. Pick up a 5, and they'll move the sticks. To the ground with the back. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Lost yardage on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. Looking to fire. Here's a heat. Under pressure, and down he goes at the 33.
This defense right now is pinning their ears back with a huge lead in the fourth quarter. You're seeing that coming off the edge. They're not even respecting run because they don't have to. They know that this opponent is going to throw the football. They're taking wider splits. They're getting up the field. They're using their speed, and that time tracking the quarterback down for a big sack.
Now 3rd and long and trying to play catch-up in more ways than one after that earlier sack. A shot toward the end zone. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers. The Bears send out the punt unit. They'll look to pin him deep. And there will be no return on this one, and he can't get it out of bounds. The ball will come out to the 20. On the move, it's Roach. Tripped up at the 25 after picking up 4. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. They'll keep it on the ground. Works ahead for a couple. They'll stop him at the 27. And the Huskies come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive. To the ground to try to pick up the first. They thought they could just run it on 3rd and short, but this defense was there to make the stop. A high kick. Let's see if he can pin them back deep in their own end. Those hands can get a little frigid in weather like this. He'll make the fair catch signal and secure the catch. Wants to throw on first down. Finds his target down the middle. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. After that last completion, it's 2nd down. He leaves it with his back. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and short now from their own 48. Wide receiver going in motion. They'll snap it from the gun on 3rd down. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. Knocked down at the 43-yard line, and the interception has him set up in plus territory. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. UConn going back to work on offense. A rather unproductive series last time, 3 and out, and they'll try to do better this time around. Turning it on! Good pickup there. They'll move the chains, and they're set up at the 41. Wonder if they'll be conservative on 1st and 10. They'll give it to him again. Stop behind the line of scrimmage, and that is a rare sight for this defense today against this guy. Wants to fire on 2nd down. It's complete. A couple of guys there to get him on the ground. The Huskies come to the line on 3rd and short, hoping to keep the drive alive. On 3rd and short, they'll try to throw for it. Oh, the quarterback can make a big play when he starts moving around. Nifty little scamper on this one. Enough for the first down, and he slides in safely. UConn quick to the line. They'll keep it on the ground. They want this clock to move. Made a defender miss. Touchdown, UConn! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house. He has spent a lot of time in that end zone today. An absolute assault on the scoreboard.
No doubt about it. And guess what? I get to make a lot of highlights. I can copy and paste all of these touchdowns, show everybody the game I had. The defense, well, you're just going to have to shake your head because you've been getting dominated.
And that extra point is a big one as they now have a 3-possession, 17-point lead in the fourth. On the move from inside his 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Okay, guys, the Bears offense comes onto the field. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. Good hands in there by the defense to force the incompletion. What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? The play action fake. It's on target and complete. Man, sometimes he's like trying to wrap up a ghost. He's out to the 27. And the Bears are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. Clock stops and we've reached the 2-minute timeout. This offense looking for anything to cut into this big lead. Fairly manageable distance here on 3rd down from the 27. Gets it out fast. They'll keep this drive moving by picking up the first down. They have it at the 36.
And that's a first down for the offense.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Got his man in the middle. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. The clock is still running, and they have to get everybody lined up. 2nd down, he'll throw it. He's taking a deep shot late in the game. And they can't hook up, going for the big play on 2nd down. Now it's 3rd down. The Bears come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep this drive moving. He wants a big play here late. Another incompletion on 3rd down. Down by multiple possessions. They can't come up empty on this drive in the 4th quarter. They'll go for it on 4th down. Here's a throw downfield late. And it's incomplete, and this defense makes a 4th down stop. Rides the back and leaves it on the option. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7. Win with the running game on 1st down, now back at it. Leaves it with the running back. Snuffed out behind the line of scrimmage, and we have not seen much of that. What a day he's had so far. All business today for this ball club. They come out and they get the win.
And that's all that matters. It's not always pretty. You don't always do everything you want to do or check all the boxes. But at the end of the game, Jesse, you want that W.
No doubt about it. They made the plays they needed to make in order to get this win. I thought the quarterback showed tremendous poise, good leadership throughout the course of the game. Defense made stops when they had to make them. So, right, there were some things that are going to need to clean up moving forward, but ultimately they were the better team today.
That's going to do it for us here, and for these two teams, that's going to do it for a season. Another bowl game in the books, and a season is wrapped. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer and our entire crew behind the scenes, I'm Reese Davis signing off, and we'll see you next season for another presentation of EA Sports College Football.